was stable, right? You do give us credit, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to the General just to take us through feedback on how everything went yesterday. Over to you, General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon or good day to the members of the media, to the viewers, and as well as the listeners at home. As Atlanta has indicated, I am Lieutenant General Musikiti in my portfolio as the chairperson of the NATJOINTS, alongside my colleagues from South African National Defence Force, Major General Jalisi, and the State Security Agency, which could not be here with us this afternoon. Yesterday, our country took to the streets to express the constitutional right of the freedom of expression in the form of demonstrations that were undertaken quite relatively across the country around 10 o'clock after the convergence of the protesters and marchers across the country. They remain relatively stable with the numbers that we can confirm that majority of the marches that were undertaken throughout the country were peaceful. South Africans exercised their constitutional right, and the overwhelming majority did so peacefully, responsibly, and within the framework of the prescribed laws. On behalf of the National Joint Operational and Intelligence Structure, NATJOINTS, as it is affectionately been referred to, we wish to extend our sincere appreciation to the leadership of various marches, the organizers, and the South Africans at large. We also want to take this opportunity to thank all law enforcement officers, our partners, for encouraging their supporters to remain peaceful, and for ensuring that the followers adhere to the Constitution and obey the laws of our country. Your leadership contributed significantly to maintaining public order and ensuring that South Africans were able to exercise their democratic right safely. We thank every South African who heeded the call to demonstrate peacefully and responsibly. I can attest that this shows the growth and the maturity of our Constitution. Our law enforcement officers and our partners who worked tirelessly throughout the night to ensure that peace, stability, and safety prevailed. Indeed, while there were opportunistic criminal elements that sought to exploit the situation, they were identified and dealt with swiftly and decisively by law enforcement. Their actions did not undermine the overall stability of the country. Our operational readiness ensured that law enforcement, law and order were maintained throughout. Overnight reinforcements were deployed to various parts in the main Gauteng, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State, and Western Cape in response to isolated incidents of looting and criminality. We have set over time to put a plan together with our partners and other agencies, and this was executed with precision. Law enforcement agencies acted swiftly to stabilize the affected areas, restore order, and prevent any further disruption. The situation remained under control and the areas remain under constant monitoring. As of this morning, we confirm that a total of 120 marches took place nationwide. Added to the marches were crowd management incidents that has took us to the total of more than 300 incidents. Marches, 120, but when you look at other incidents of gatherings and demonstrations in regards to the crowd management control, total took us to 300. And these are mainly other incidents that happened overnight. Of these marches, 108 of them were peaceful and only 12 required law enforcement interventions due to incidents of unrest. If I can give the breakdown per province, in Free State, we have recorded 8 peaceful marches. In the Eastern Cape, 28 were peaceful and only 2 were unrest-related incidents. In Gauteng, we have 12 peaceful marches and 1 unrest situation. In KwaZulu-Natal, we have 21 peaceful marches and only 2 were unrest-related. In Limpopo, we have recorded only 12 peaceful marches. Mpumalanga, 9 peaceful marches and 1 unrest-related incident. In Northern Cape, we had 4 peaceful marches and 2 unrest-related. Northwest, 8 peaceful marches, and Western Cape, we had 6 peaceful marches and 4 unrest-related incidents. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media and colleagues, this is a clear demonstration that the overwhelming majority of South Africans chose peace over disorder. While the vast majority of demonstrations remained peaceful, there were individuals who sought to exploit yesterday's events to commit criminal acts. Unfortunately for them, they were promised that the law will take its course. They are quickly discovered the law enforcement was on their heels and ready to act proportionally and decisively. Our members remained swiftly wherever incidents of looting, robbery, public violence, and other criminal activity emerged. More than 900 persons were arrested during yesterday's operations. This included the marches in terms of gatherings and other law enforcement operations that were undertaken throughout the country. Whilst we were focusing on the marches, for some, policing continued to happen, hence the total of more than 900 persons that were arrested. The majority of those arrested were illegal foreigners and looting as a result of law enforcement operations conducted alongside the protesters. Some were arrested for public violence, some for harboring illegal immigrants in terms of Immigration Act, some for business robbery at spaza shops, and so on and so forth. The Western Cape recorded a total of 215 arrests for various crimes, including public violence and contravention of Immigration Act. The Eastern Cape came second with 208 arrests for various crimes, including public violence and contravention of Immigration Act, public violence, incitement to commit violence, and looting. KwaZulu-Natal, 153, various crimes including looting, public violence, contravention of Immigration Act. In the Free State, 132 persons were arrested for various crimes including public violence and contravention of Immigration Act, looting, and business robbery. Northwest Province recorded a total of 83 arrests for various crimes including looting, public violence, and contravention of Immigration Act. Gauteng, more than 82 were arrested for various crimes, looting, public violence, attempted murder, discharging of a firearm in the municipal area, and contravention of Immigration Act. In Northern Cape, 51 persons were arrested for various crimes, including looting, public violence, and contravention of Immigration Act. Limpopo recorded 26 persons arrested for various crimes, and Mpumalanga recorded a total of 7 arrests for public violence and related charges. These arrests demonstrate that our law enforcement agencies were not merely present, they were proactive, disciplined, effective, and firm. Those who sought to exploit yesterday's demonstration for criminal gain were identified, pursued, and brought before the law. On behalf of the NATJOINTS, we wish to express our deepest appreciation to every law enforcement officer and all our partners who discharged and executed their duties with diligence. Thank you for your professionalism, discipline, and unwavering commitment to protect South Africa, its people, and all who live in it. We want to also take this opportunity to thank you, members of the media, for ensuring that you portray and display what is happening in the country. To all our officials and officers, you stood firm under challenging circumstances. You enforced the law without fear, favor, or prejudice. You ensured that constitutional rights were protected while criminality was dealt with decisively. Your dedication has once again demonstrated the strength of coordinated law enforcement execution. We also wish to thank every member of NATJOINTS, all the departments, government departments, community policing forums that participated in these integrated operations. While the operations are still underway, the people of South Africa, thank you for your cooperation. Yesterday's events have shown that we can uphold our democracy while maintaining peace, stability, and respect for the rule of law. Our operations continue to remain active. Law enforcement will continue to monitor developments through the days ahead. We remain vigilant, we remain prepared, and we continue to act decisively against anyone who threatens the safety, security, and the stability of our country. We also intensify our operations to ensure that all people who are in the country are in possession of valid documents and are in compliance with the laws of the Republic. Those operations will continue in close collaboration with all relevant government departments to uphold the rule of law and safeguard the integrity of immigration systems. We also extend our appreciation to South African National Defence Force, which remain on standby to respond whenever called upon. Yesterday, South African National Defence Force, through Operation Prosper, which is the operations that are ongoing in 5 of our 9 provinces, were also deployed to Hillbrow in support of the law enforcement operations, reinforcing the authority of the state and contributing to the maintenance of peace, stability, and public order. We extend our sincere appreciation to all key stakeholders who have worked alongside law enforcement throughout these operations. We thank our colleagues across government departments, the Metro Police Departments, private security companies, business against crime, community policing forums, community patrollers, and all other partners who stood united in safeguarding our communities. We also want to take this opportunity as NATJOINTS to thank the leadership of the JCPS cluster and other supporting clusters for ensuring and giving space for operatives to execute what they know best. Your cooperation, vigilance, and commitment have been instrumental in maintaining law and order, protecting lives and property, ensuring that the authority of the state is upheld. In conclusion, we extend our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of the bus driver who tragically lost his life in a road accident in Limpopo while transporting Malawian nationals that were being repatriated from Durban. Our thoughts are also with the 11 passengers who sustained injuries, and we wish them a full and speedy recovery. We also recognize everyone who might have become the victim of crime yesterday during these operations. We commend the emergency services and all officials who responded swiftly to all the scenes of crime to continue and provide necessary support. The Prof Joints members in various provinces will, after this briefing, provide a detailed briefing of each province in terms of this mission. As I've indicated earlier, we are still hard at work, we are still continuing to work, and we will continue to do so as long as we exist. And I thank you.
Thank you, General CBD, Major General Jalisi. As you heard, ladies and gentlemen, more than 900 arrested from yesterday morning up until now. And as you've heard, the country is relatively stable. Those that took chances were arrested and they will appear in court soon. I'm now going to take 2 rounds at the most, because we do have a NATJOINTS meeting at around 1 o'clock, and we are all aware that Gauteng will also be providing feedback to members of the media that would include their breakdown of arrests and hotspots. Okay, ladies first.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nalini Machichi from Daily Maverick. So the organizers of March this week just sent to have vowed that they will continue to protest every Thursday the next 6 months until pretty much every illegal migrant is gone. So has SAPS developed a strategy around that? Will SAPS continue to work with private security companies around those demonstrations? And I also, second, I don't know if this is the correct briefing, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So a lot of speculation on social media about the Hillbrow shooting and the identities of those who are participating in it. So I wanted to know if you added, when I asked yesterday, you confirmed the nationalities involved. That couldn't confirm at that stage. So I'm wondering if you're now at a stage.
I think let's leave it there for now and then allow the general to respond to those 2 questions.
We have projects that we initiated that is running for almost 3 years now. We have signed the MOU called Eyes and Ears that is working with private security companies as and when, and I want to reiterate what I said the other day, that South African Police Service remain in charge. It remain constitutionally mandated in terms of policing in the country. Any other law enforcement that works alongside the South African Police Service is for the support and the supplementation as and when it is required. We have noted that March and March have publicly announced that they will continue with the marches throughout for the next 6 months. As I've indicated again, we will continue to monitor every situation and we will continue to support every individual of this country who wishes to exercise his or her right in terms of the Constitution, Section 16 and Section 17 of the Constitution when it comes to the issues of demonstrations, marches, picketing, and any other activity that will be undertaken in that regard. So private security or SANDAF or the Home Affairs as the partners will continue to work with them. And I'm not sure why are we singling out the private security company in this case, because we did not work only with a private security company yesterday. For me, that is a clear definition of community policing, because we police with our partners as well as the CPFs as the structure. I can confirm that there was an incident in Gauteng where 2 victims became the victim of attempted murder where the firearm was discharged, and there were arrests subsequent to this incident. And the incident happened during the day around 14:10 or so. So yes, we do have and confirm. Hence, I have also wished the speedy recovery for those who became the victim of any other incident other than the 2 victims in the Hillbrow March.
All right, colleagues. I think on that point, you recall that Gauteng is briefing at 1 o'clock. So the Provincial Commissioner as well as the Premier, they will provide further details on those particular incidents. I think there was a number of shootings and lootings, so they will provide a breakdown. So we were just providing a high-level feedback report to the nation. Do we have other questions? Okay, the young one first.
Okay. The General did not disclose the nationalities of the arrested accused.
It's a mix.
The numbers will be mixed. It will be, let me not give that now, but because we'll continue to update as the operations are continuing, we will get you the breakdown. It's not a problem, because as and when people get arrested, they do finish their nationality. What I can confirm is the incident where I was personally involved, where 13 Malawians were arrested in Gauteng, Welbekend area. So there were 11 of the arrested persons were Malawians that were illegal in the country, the driver as well as the other occupant that was with the driver that were also arrested for smuggling, because what they were doing was smuggling. The mode of transport that was used was not one compatible to be loading 13 persons.
Do we have another question?
Oh, yes, thank you very much. My name is Calvin, also from SAPC News. Mine would be 2 simple questions to General MCP. First and foremost, yesterday we got reports from our colleagues and basically that there were police officers who were actually working with checking documentation. So we just wanted to double check if that is the standard operating procedure of the SAPS. Is that allowed? Has it happened anyway? And my second one would be on the number of police officials that were deployed. We heard that there were those who were called in to come and assist, especially including those who were on leave. So after this march, have they been relieved of their duties? Are they still deployed? And for how long?
Can I respond?
Yeah, you can respond. I did note, there's Alex from News 24. There is a question online, General, where he's asking, there are reports of members of the public breaking into homes of foreign nationals, demanding that they leave. Have any arrests in relation to this been effected or cases opened? I know the majority of those incidents took place in Gauteng, so can we defer that particular question to Gauteng? Thank you.
However, one can confirm that yes, on the number of arrests that happened throughout the night, it included those that were trying to make themselves officers of the law, and they are not officers, and they will be charged accordingly. And perhaps to continue to educate South Africans that they must stay in their lane. This was outlined. The President on the 5-point plan did indicated that this is the job of law enforcement and it should be left to law enforcement. Calvin has spoke to the Provincial Commissioner of Eastern Cape in this regard, and this information cannot be confirmed at the moment. And if it happened, I think we will take the necessary measures to bring those police officers who did that particular activity to a right execution of their duty. It is not in our nature that we should work alongside the other members of the public to do our work. However, you will see that most of the time we encourage community policing. So if we work with other structures, even at roadblocks, it's not for us to make them to do our work. We are doing our work as the police officers. But in this regard, that it is not correct. But this information, even the Provincial Commissioner cannot confirm that it happened, and he vouched that it will not happen under his watch. In terms of the numbers of how many police officers that will do when we do the reconciliation of the what we call duty list during the operations. If I will give you that number, only the yesterday I will give. But remember, I said to you, we are still continuing with our operations. And as and when the intelligence community will tell us to demobilize, we will demobilize, and with the right numbers that will be guided by the planners of the operations and the magnitude of the operation, but how many people can we demobilize to go to their duty. And policing is a very broad work. So if you are deployed to ensure the country is stable, it's still the responsibility and the mandate of the police. I do have colleagues, officers that work at head office that are elsewhere in the country, ensuring that they do the first line of policing.
Right.
So if you can be able to get maybe a comment from the members of the South African Defence Force, maybe to hear from them, especially with what happened, you said in that, maybe they can give us their perspective on what happened and their operations there overall.
Okay, Major General Jalisi, can you just come closer to the microphone?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And I think the chairperson of the NATJOINTS has already spelled out on what happened in Hillbrow. As SANDF, we don't lead. We work in support of the SAPS. So the stats and information that has been given to the public is information that you require from me. But what I can just say to you is that Operation Prosper is going to continue as authorized by our Commander-in-Chief till March next year. So we will continue supporting the crackdown of the criminals, especially criminal syndicates, wherever they are. We will always do that in support of the police. So with regards to what happened in Hillbrow, we were there. In all areas where there was criminality, we were there as SANDF, but in support of the SAPS, and we are going to continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Major General Joseph Jalisi. Do we have any other questions and colleagues? Loved ones.
Sorry, this is my last question. We got a photo. We got a photo of a sign at the police station saying that anyone who wants to report a crime needs to show a valid documentation, like an ID or whatever. Is that the policy? Is that police policy?
I don't believe that an incident of that nature can happen. And let me just safely say, can it be made available and be investigated? The authority, well, you know, these days we are having AI. I have received a photo that was showing or having a narrative that it is in the Eastern Cape where foreign nationals were converging to push back. And we went to the length and breadth of Eastern Cape, and the building of that nature was not existing in South Africa. So photos can be photoshopped, and that particular one have not came to the attention of the authority, but I'm not saying it did not happen. I'm saying, can it be investigated, because we were never informed of such.
Okay, do we have another question? Yeah, proceed.
Thank you so much, Mariana from Mesa Online. I think there's a confusion, officers, in terms of is there a fine for people harboring the foreign nationals? So I thought there was a focus which was vague. I know that you also released a statement making sure that you're making people aware of those failures. So I just needed a clarity in that. Thank you so much.
Is there a fine? Your question is a fine.
Yes, is there a fine or maybe procedures we followed I'm not sure if I'm asking a very question.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say, there was a post which was circulating on social media, and there was a correction from the set. And now here there's people harboring foreign nationals, and it looks like there will be steps taken against them. So I just wanted clarity on that.
There is a fine in terms of Immigration Act, and what I have reported earlier is the arrest of the contravention of Immigration Act, and I went further to explain that that arrest is in relation to the fact that the particular individual was found to have harbored illegal immigrants, and a number of them. So yes, it is an offense to do that in terms of Immigration Act. And every offense that you commit, if it's theft, you can be charged and you will be given a fine by the court. So the contravention is in terms of Immigration Act.
So I think the general earlier explained that where they found, especially at like your guest houses or your business premises, where they found illegal foreigners, they would also arrest the owner and charge them accordingly.
Even yourself, if you are harboring an illegal immigrant as a resident, because we do have majority of those that are having people that are working for them as gardeners, as domestic workers that are not having a proper documentation. So we cannot allow a one side or a picky kind of enforcement of the law.
So if you are harboring a domestic worker or a gardener that is illegal, you too will be arrested for harboring an illegal immigrant. Yeah. Any other questions, colleagues? I think we can close it. Yeah. I think, are we good? All right, thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you, Lieutenant General Sikiri, as well as Major General Joseph.
And thanks to the members of the meeting.
Thank you, guys. You've been awesome, you know. You assisted us really to...
Oh, no, it's scary.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
Kelvin, I'm chairing a meeting in the next 5 minutes.
Up until the next briefing and next operation. Thank you so much for the support, colleagues. You assisted us greatly, really, to send out our messages across the length and breadth of the country. And I think we owe you guys, members of the media, part of the reason why, the marches were also peaceful is that you gave us an opportunity, to really affirm the authority of the state. So without you guys, there is no us. Thank you.
And they must also teach They must also continue to teach South Africans of their rights and responsibilities while they continue to march, and they must observe their responsibilities.
Okay.